Welcome to 1 Million Cups Brunswick. My name is Skip Matz. I'm the Dean of the School of Business at the college. I'm glad you all could come. We are in full Christmas mode at Tipsy's. We don't have the disco ball on, but I'll see if we can work that out. All right, 1 Million Cups is an educational program developed by the Kaufman Foundation of Kansas City. Its purpose is to engage, encourage, and support entrepreneurs and to help create a network of supportive mentors and friends. We will have 2 entrepreneurs. We have 1 here today. We may have a chance to have the spontaneous entrepreneur in the last half, but I might call on Bill Bernstein, but I might not. So, and then we'll have a bunch of questions. Our goal is simple: to have creative people talk to other creative people in hopes that this conversation gets others to follow their creativity. I always mention the count. We have 198 cities that are doing the exact same thing, exact same time as we are. Some weekly, some monthly. As usual, we want to thank our super host, Susan Coates, who is castless.
I am.
She now can hit you and not hurt you as bad. So, please, I also, we figured out, or I did, I'm a little slow because I'm old, we figured out how to put our contacts on the screen up there. If you want to be on our listserv, we're by the coffee, please put it there. Do we have any new folks today? Great, this is good. Good, glad you all are here. Our first presenter is Chef Austin of Southern Cooking and Catering.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
My story is kind of here and there, so keep up with me a little bit. I was trying to get myself prepared for this morning because I'm a little bit shy, as you probably can see already. So what I did was I put my glasses on. When I put my glasses on, I can't really see who I'm looking at. So therefore, if I smile at you, just take it as I'm smiling at you. So in preparation for this morning, I was singing one of my favorite songs, and I'm just going to sing just a little bit of it. I can't sing either, but anyway. But it's called What a Wonderful World. I see people shaking hands, saying, how do you do? And while I was singing that this morning, the cops pulled me over. Nothing bad. I actually may get a catering event from it, but I didn't do anything bad. So anyway, I'm from New Jersey originally, and the big city of Paterson, New Jersey, where everything is everything and nothing is nothing. But I was inspired as a kid by my grandparent, Richard Lee Austin, who I was named after, my grandfather. And for some reason, he always inspired me. He was so excited when he saw me do things because besides my other brothers and sisters, I was always the one that woke up at 5 in the morning. I wasn't scared. When I went to West Virginia, he was a coal miner, and he had chickens and vegetables and coal, and every time he had to do something, I was always the one that he could actually choose to do things. So I kind of learned earlier to be kind of inspired, to be motivated. And as I got older, I kept wondering why he always would motivate me. He would always say, that boy is going to be something one day. That boy is going to be something in life. Look at that boy right there. Boy, look at his hair. Look at his thighs. Look at whatever it was. But I realized it was because I was named after him. And but anyway, in my heart, I took that as a inspiration. So growing up in New Jersey, there were things that we did typically and things that we didn't. One of the things that inspired me as far as business was that we had wood shop. And by having so much diversity in the area, I would always see different people in businesses, and the people who were in businesses were the ones that seemed to be more important other than the average working person. So we had a gentleman who he shined shoes. And I was always wondering, he was always so happy. And I'm like, why would he be happy shining shoes and everything? And so we have a wood shop, and one of the projects I made was a shoe box. And I said, well, I'm gonna shine some shoes too. I can make me a couple dollars. Okay, that's one thing. Then all of a sudden, whenever the bell rung or the siren rung in the city when the snow days were coming and there was no school, I would look forward to it because I would already be up at 5, 6 in the morning waiting for the siren to go off so I could go shovel snow. So I went and brought me a shovel, got a couple friends. I felt like I was the boss and people liked me in the neighborhood. So whenever I went to the house and asked, you know, Mr. So-and-so, Pulowski or whatever, can I shovel your garage or your driveway or whatever? They, sure, Richie, who you got working with you? I said, well, these are my friends. And they would always give me the business and we would make money. They'd go eat pizzas and hamburgers and all of that kind of stuff throughout the day. I went to a technical and vocational high school. I was a very good athlete. I was very good in football, very good in track, very good in wrestling and everything, but the school kind of geared you for business more so than going to college. Had all kinds of scholarships, but I took up barbering and cosmetology for 2 reasons. One, my dad was a barber, and for some good reason, we lived pretty good with him owning barbershops. So I said, I'll take it. Didn't realize that my father was going to drill me so much about barbering more so than just cutting hair, because when he went to barber in college, it was like going to nursing school. So I really had to learn how to do hair and know the muscles in the veins and all this stuff in the face and all that kind of stuff. Got mad, but he wouldn't let me stop because he always said, if you start something, you never quit until you finish. So I kept the barbering thing, graduated from high school, opened up a barbering and beauty salon. Did really good, traveled all over, was in magazines, competitions, hair shows and everything. Everything was wonderful, but during the 80s, in our area, it had got so bad until it scared me to death. And the reason why it scared me was because drugs and crimes and all kinds of things started being more of a reality to me. And I knew that, also my dad was a preacher, so I knew I had to hide and do everything I did anyway. So it scared me. So I had my shop for about 4 years or so, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to get out of New Jersey. I had relatives that I could have went to stay with, but my dad never really let us spend a night at people's houses, even growing up, because he wanted to make sure what he taught and my mother taught was what we were going to learn. Now, there were other inspiring people that we had, and that was good. When they came to visit or when we went to visit, that was fine, but we're not staying at the house, so we didn't do that. So I went downtown one day to buy me a pair of sneakers, and I saw a recruiter. I said, that's it. I can go into the military. I don't have to worry about nowhere to sleep, nowhere to eat. I don't have to worry about food. I don't have to worry about pay because I'm getting a paycheck. So they asked me a list of things that I wanted to do or whatever, and I was a big guy, which I am now. Look, you know, I guess everybody see that already. I'm taking up the whole stage. And I said, well, I'm going to go into the food service area. He said, well, you can go in that area in 6 months. You can switch careers. I said, okay, 6 months good enough for me to figure out what it was. 3 weeks later, I was gone. Came to Fort Stewart. The first dining facility I went in was the best small garrison dining facility in the military because they compete. They competed in competitions. But me being 23 years old and more mature, I didn't want nobody to do anything better than me, especially an 18, 19-year-old kid that's cooking not better than me, but he's in a better position because when I first came in, I was doing the potatoes and onions and all of that kind of stuff. But all the way in the back, you could hear the guys who knew how to cook, talking about how good they could cook and everything. So I learned real fast. I already knew how to cook a little bit anyway, parents and sisters and everybody taught me how to cook. Got promoted, started competing in competitions. I won Cook of the Year 3 times, Cook of the Month like 7 times, Cook of the Week 20 times. I was like, hey, this thing pretty good. Still didn't think of it as being a career. But with a family, I'm saying I'm doing good. I got 5 sons. So even though I was learning in the military, at the same time I was cooking at home, so I was saving money because I had to go out and eat and everything. All of a sudden it was time for me to get out. My wife is from New York, I'm from New Jersey. I'm scared to death thinking that I'm not moving my sons to New Jersey, where I came from, because I just barely escaped myself. My wife said, well, I don't want to go back to New York. I'm not moving the kids. So we ended up staying here. I got stationed at Fort Stewart 3 times. So I said, well, that's kind of like an indication that I need to be down south. Plus, it was more or less my everyday life by being in the military, living in the South, everything was good. Wasn't thinking about the food service thing because I said I never wanted to work in a restaurant. Some of you who may not know me probably don't know me because I haven't worked in some of the best restaurants in our area because I cooked so much when I was in the military. That's the last thing I wanted to do. So I said, I'll start a catering business. That's what I'll do. I started a catering business. I could work when I want or work a full-time job, do it part-time. That's my extra money and everything. So I did a few things, you know, opened a couple of restaurants. Opened my first restaurant with $135 at the Darien Mall. They didn't know I only had $135 because evidently when I walked in there, I must have looked like money or something, you know what I mean? But I had $135. I went to Piggly Wiggly in Darien. I bought $100 worth of food and had $35 for the cash register. That first day I made about $400, went to Piggly Wiggly and what's the other one down in London? Anyway, I bought about $250 worth of food. Then I bought me a tea container because all I was selling was canned drinks. I was like, well, that's too much money. I can make tea and make more money off tea. So each day I started making more money. Anyway, the first year I made $187,000 off $135. Then all of a sudden, I wanted to expand, big time now. Opened a restaurant on Altama when Harvey's and H&H Furniture was over there. It used to be a old Hardee's restaurant there, and then it was a Chinese restaurant. So I walked in there, had my little tie on, I had 3 ties. Had my tie on, walked in there, talked to the people. The lease was close to $4,000, and I didn't know that the electricity bill each month was gonna end up being about $300 something, plus I had to pay employees. So I had $1,000 that I could spend on food. Bought $1,000 worth of food, $300 for the cash register. The first year I made about $400 and something thousand off of that. So I'm like, hey, I'm doing pretty good. Well, sounds good by the time you pay the employees and you pay the lease and you pay this or whatever. I just had the inspiration and desire to do it. I didn't know I could do it. I just know if somebody else did it, I can do it. So it didn't make no sense, you know. Plus, I wasn't scared of change or I had to fear, nothing like that. So about 8 years ago, I went into full-time catering, which is Chef Austin's Southern Cooking and Catering. Within that time, I've traveled to Korea, Japan. I've cooked for the White House staff. I've cooked for poor people. I've cooked for rich people. I go to people's homes, I cook. I do lectures and seminars, and one of my newest things. Is there anybody in here who has a problem with sodium reduction? They need to lower their sodium intake? Anybody?
Everybody.
If there's anybody in particular, I also have Chef Austin spice blends, which are no sodium and low sodium spices that are absolutely all purpose and good for everything, all cooking methods, all cooking ingredients, raw vegetables, whatever, but I do have some samples over here. And I thank you very much for allowing me to share just a couple of minutes.
Now, what I have to know is, did you feed the prehistoric sea monster in the Darien Mall?
The Ottawa.
Yes.
Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't.
Oh, shoot. I have wondered about that. Questions? All right, quick questions. Chef, have you thought about having a food truck?
I have a food truck now. Yes, I do. It's a big, pretty red food truck, too. I'm getting ready to really start putting it out. I couldn't really put it out as much because I had so much catering I was doing, and I was getting kind of overwhelmed and tired. And then I got a good friend in here, Mr. Bill Austin, that I want him to be my uncle. So I call him uncle. So he told me one day a few weeks ago, he said, Chef, you got to slow down a little bit. He said, you got a lot of good ideas and you're doing things. And I called him up and I spoke with him real quick, and I told him that I appreciate him telling me that, because a couple of weeks after that, I ended up getting sick, going to the hospital. So that was an indication that I had to kind of map this thing out and relax myself, even though I'm so excited about everything. I only can do so much, you know. But my food truck is going to be out coming up. Matter of fact, next first Friday or so, you guys will see it if you're out there.
What is that called? Where
Oh, you'll see the big Chef Austin.
Chef Austin.
Yeah, Chef, yeah, you'll see it. It's got my picture on it too. Yeah, got my picture. If you can't remember the name, you look down, you say, oh, that's him.
All right, another question. Who is your competition, or how do you differentiate what you do from all the other caterers
Well,
that are around here?
one of the things that I feel is well, one of my positive notes is that I cook all different types of food, so I don't just specialize in one different thing. Even though Southern cooking is my specialty, but over the years, especially coming from New Jersey and being in such a diverse area, I noticed that people from the North and South, or whatever region you go to, always have a different cooking method. So I kind of studied from Hispanic, you know, different types of cuisines. And sometimes I try to incorporate them, even when I do my menus. I don't just have set menus that you just gotta pick from. If you say, like for instance, we do a lot of catering. We did one, the family was from Puerto Rico, the bride was from Puerto Rico, and the husband was from Texas. So I had to put together a menu to suit both of them and their family and friends. So I'm very diverse with my cooking methods.
Good. Good. I know you all like to.
I'm sorry, sir.
How do you promote your business?
Primarily, I have a website, chefaustin.com is my website. And I have some cards and stuff over here, which has my seasonings on it and my catering. Other than that, I'm all in, I guess, Google and different things like that. That's the question you're asking. I don't have any marketing person or anything. I haven't gotten to that yet, but I'm ready to. I do. I really do, because that'll take a lot of the load off of me. It's just I'm trying to figure out how to do things, and I'm actually meeting a lot of great people who will offer me advice and help. And even this meeting here, the few that I came here, I met some very nice people, and I got cards, and I'm lining things up to try to get in contact with them and see what type of knowledge they can help me with, because I love helping people. So I love you know, people to help me as well. You know, I call it favor. You know, people don't have to be nice to you. You know what I mean? They don't have to be nice, but I love nice people. That's why I say one of my favorite songs is "What a Wonderful World." You know.
Okay. I know you all like to eat.
I ain't bring no food samples.
Well, I was going to point that out, Chef. I was going to point that out. It's always helpful. Any questions?
Anybody else?
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you very. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
So you mentioned all the things you did that were really successful and interesting and they all went to each other. I was wondering, what have you done that was not successful, that was a total bust?
Oh.
Has that been a lot too, or no?
Well, this may not seem right. It might contradict what I was saying, but the worst thing I did, which was the best thing, one of the best things, was I never used to think of finances when I provided a service. I really just wanted to make people happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody would say, "Chef, I really want you to do this catering event, but we only have X amount of dollars." "Oh, girl, don't worry about it. Get married, be happy," or whatever. You know what I mean? Then I go home, my wife looking at me like, light bill? So I had to let her start taking care of some of that to take me personally out of the communication part, because I just wanted people to eat my food and be happy, you know. But it wasn't paying the bills, and I wasn't actually advancing. I was working, but I wasn't advancing. So now that she takes care of it, and she doesn't cook at all, she just makes oatmeal and stuff like that. So as far as she's concerned, look, if I gotta pay what I pay my husband for him to cook for me, you're gonna pay for him to cook for you. So.
Another question. Well, Chef, thank you very
All
much,
right.
and we have a little bit of corporate swag. All right, why don't we take about a 8 to 10 minute break? And if in fact I don't see our next presenter, if you have an urge to get up here and talk about anything you'd like to do, we have some guests. But if you want to be the spontaneous entrepreneur,